Let's go to the first half of the title, word. We will look answer for a simple question. What is a word? Because we heard many times like word, blending word, clipped word, compound word, but we never ask for definition. Let's put into the simple question. What is a word? What does it mean? Let's see the simple definition for the question.
A word is the basic unit of a language. Each word gives a meaning or meanings.
Whatever the language you speak, the basic of that language is a word. Whether you speak Tamil or English or any other language, the basic of every language is a word. For example, our thoughts can be divided into sentences. Again, a sentence can be divided into words. Even in that sentence, there are many words. Each word will give a meaning or meanings. For example, the word mother. Mother, which means a lady gives birth to a child. The same way, each and every word has a meaning or more than one meaning. Let's look for another definition for word. It is a combination of sounds in spoken and letters in written in a language that makes sense. All the words in every language come under this definition. The combination of sounds and letters should make sense. If it doesn't make sense, it is not a word. You should also make sense between speaker and the listener or writer and reader. If it is a conversation between two persons, it should make sense. If it is a conversation between a writer and reader through a book, all the words should make sense. So, the basic of a language is a word. Now, let's look relation between the word and the meaning. Whenever we read or hear a familiar word, the word gives meaning in general in our mind. We relate the word with the similar meaning or an object. For example, the word mother, when we hear or read the word mother, we relate the word with the meaning or our own mother. Here, the meaning is restricted with our own experience. We don't relate someone's mother, we relate our own mother with the word. Here, the person is related with the word. This is not a slow reaction in our mind, but it is a quick reaction in our thought process. Same way, look at the word friend. We don't relate the word friend with the picture on the screen, but we take both of them totally as unrelated things. When you read or hear the word friend, you just relate with your own friend, but you don't relate with the picture that is shown on the screen. If you are going to answer for the question, who is she? Then you may say a girl, a lady, whatever related with the picture, but you never relate the word friend with the picture unless you know her. Now, look at the word umami. Do you understand what is umami? Can you relate any picture or any meaning with the word umami? You can find the difficulty to relate any meaning or picture with the word umami. So, you must have already known the word, or else it is not easy to relate the meaning or the picture. Now, look at the meaning of the word umami. It is a type of taste which is originated from Japan. Now you could relate with the other taste like sweet or bitter. Still, you cannot feel the taste umami. It needs to be tasted what umami is. You already know the names of the taste, but this one is totally new to our food item. So we will find difficulty to relate the taste. We can experience some similar taste, but we can never compare. We do not know what it is Unless we experience it, the word will remain like gibberish, which means unintelligible or meaningless speech or writing. Now we related the word with the type of taste that we have not experienced so far. Though we do not experience the taste, the word umami introduces a new world of taste in our mind. Similarly, each word is not a simple meaningful sound all the times. Each word has the capacity to bring a new world in our mind. So, it is better to care each and every word you speak. Look at the power of words in Yehuda Berg's words. Words are singularly the most powerful force available to humanity. We can choose to use this force constructively with words of encouragement or destructively using words of despair. Words have energy and power with the ability to help, to heal, to hinder, to hurt, to harm, to humiliate, and to humble. We can understand from the words of Yehuda Bergs, words are the most powerful force in the world. It is our own subject way of dealing how to use the word. It can be used constructively for the development of the society or any individual. It can be used as a tool to destruct using words of despair. Words have many roles to play. Look at the ability of the words. It can help the needy. It can heal the broken. It can hinder the truth or lie. It can hurt anyone. It can harm a good soul. It can humiliate a kind-hearted. It can make a person to be humble. So, the words have numerous abilities to carry out. It depends on how we use the words. But remember, the words are the most powerful force available to humanity that can make any change. It is a general saying is that knowledge is power. But knowledge comprises actually the godown of words. You can never see its frontier, but it can accommodate as many words as possible you come across to your experience. More words make your knowledge grow ever. In knowledge, words are parts of the godown. The right combination of the words can do anything positively. Vice versa, a wrong combination can make anything negatively. Just like we have seen previously, the ability of each word differs. You cannot limit the ability of the words. Even it can make or introduce a new world in you. Example, umami. By the word umami, we understand that there is a different taste in the world exists apart from our own experience. So, each word has the ability to make us to a new world. Now, let's see how words are classified. We understand that each word has a meaning, but each word plays a different role in a sentence to make the sentence meaningful. All the words belong to categories called word classes or parts of speech, according to the part they play in a sentence. The words are classified into 8 categories. Though we have already known, let's list them. Noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction, interjection. It's amazing to think that every single word in the English language belongs to one of the just 8 word groups or parts of speech listed. In this video, we are not going to discuss everything in detail. We are going to discuss words which can function in the sentence differently. Further, let's divide the word classification into 2 categories: content words, function words. Content words are words that have meaning. Noun, adjective, verb, adverb come under this category. 99.99% of words in English belong to content words. In contrast, function words are words that create grammatical relationships in a sentence in which the content words may fit. Conjunction, preposition, auxiliary verbs and many other grammatical items come under this category. These words are limited. All words can be classified as either content words or function words. Though it is not easy always to make the distinction, both are interdependent between the two word groups. In this video, we are going to see content words because they function differently based on their role in the sentence. Let's see what they are.
A noun is a word that names a person, place, thing, or idea.
Look at the examples. Maran reads well. Chennai is a beautiful city. My note is helpful before exams. Honesty makes life beautiful. Each noun represents its own category in noun. Maran is a name of a person. Chennai is a name of a place. Note is a name of a thing. Honesty is a name of an idea. All nouns give names of its own kind. Look at these words: girl, book, and library. These are all nouns. Girl is a name of a person. Book is a name of a thing. Library is a name of a place. Whenever we give a name to anything, it becomes a noun. Now move to adjective. Let's see what is an adjective.
Adjective is a word that qualifies or modifies a person or a thing or a place or an idea.
Look at the examples. Maran is a tall person. Chennai is a beautiful city. My short note is helpful before exams. His honesty is so transparent. Here, tall modifies person in the first sentence. Beautiful modifies city in the second sentence. Short modifies note in the third sentence. Transparent attributes to honesty in the fourth sentence. Each word classifies the nearby noun or the attribute noun. Here, delicious describes the taste of the food. Since it modifies the noun breakfast, it is an adjective. Next, we are going to see verb.
A verb is a word that tells an action or an occurrence or a state of being.
Look at the example. Maran reads well. The beautiful moments happens today. The building stands in the middle of the city. Reads refers to an action in the first sentence. Happen refers to an occurrence in the second sentence. Stands refers to the state of being of the building in the third sentence. If a word projects an action or an occurrence or a state of being, it is called as a verb. Here, washes refers to the action in the video. The word refers an action in the sentence is called verb. Now, let's see what is an adverb.
An adverb is a word that qualifies or modifies a verb or an adjective or other adverb.
Look at the examples. Maran reads silently. Chennai looks really beautiful. I sometimes drink tea in the morning. Silently modifies the verb reads in the first sentence. Really modifies the adjective beautiful in the second sentence. Sometimes modifies the adverb in the morning in the third sentence. So far, we have seen how a word functions in the sentences. A word can function as noun, adjective, verb, and adverb. But sometimes a word doesn't have only one function. It may have multiple functions in the sentence. Some words can be used in different contexts so as to bring out their various meanings. For example, the word trim. Look at the first sentence. Do you want a trim? Here, trim is an act of cutting a small amount of something, especially hair. Look at the second sentence. Do you trim your hair regularly? Here, trim refers to a verb because trim something to make something neater, smaller, better by cutting parts from it like hair. Here it denotes or tells an action. If it is a noun, it is the name of the act. In the first sentence, trim is the name of the act. If it is a verb, it tells the action. In the second sentence, trim describes an action. So it is a verb. The difference between noun and verb in this category lies in the context of the word or position of the word. In this context, there is no difference in the change of meaning. Now, look at the second example. We usually book tickets for a movie in advance. Here, book is a verb. It denotes to arrange, to have or use something on a particular date in the future, like buying a ticket in advance. Now look at the second sentence. Thirukkural is my favorite book. Here, book is a noun because it is set of printed pages which is actually an object. Here, same word is used in different sentences. At the same time, unlike the first type, meaning is differed based on the context. Words with different functions are the big challenge because it may have same meaning in both contexts, sometimes totally irrelevant meanings. We need to know the context and meaning in detail. Sometimes it may seem confusable to use in the sentence. Whenever you learn a new word, you should not restrict yourself only to knowing the meaning. You should know how it functions in different contexts, whether there is any change in the meaning or in the context. Let's go to another example. The frame of the photo is broken. Here, the frame is a noun. Frame refers to a strong border or structure of a wood, a metal that holds a picture, door, or piece of glass in possession. Here, it refers to a name of the object, so it is a noun. Now, look at the second sentence. We frame questions on all topics. Here, frame is a verb. Frame refers to an action that create and develop something such as a plan. Now go to the next word. My teachers guides me towards the path of success. Here, guide refers to an action, so it is a verb. The action guide refers to show a way to something. In the second sentence, the tourist guide explained the historical importance of the site now. As a noun, guide refers to show somebody the way to place. As a verb, guide denotes the action guide. As a noun, guide denotes the doer of the action. We need to understand the place of parts of speech. A verb comes after the subject. A noun comes before the verb or after the verb in the sentence. The meaning of a word depends on the function of the word in the sentence. To master words with different functions, we need to read and use them in the context frequently. Now, let's sum up. Words are the basic unit of a language. A word gives meaning or more than one meaning. Whenever we listen or read a word, we relate the word with the meaning or picture. Here, our experience makes how to relate word and meaning or picture together. For example, the word mother. We relate our own mother for the word mother, but not someone's. Our experience restricts the picturization of the word. Another example is the word friend. But when you listen or read a new word, our experience doesn't go beyond the reading of the word. For example, the word umami. When we learn the word for the first time, we cannot relate anything. But when we learn that it is a type of taste which is originated from Japan, a new world of taste is brought to our consciousness. We need to be careful because a word has the capacity to bring a new world in our life alive. In Neruda Burke's words, words are singularly the most powerful force available to humanity. It is in our hands how to use words properly and positively. Knowledge is actually
the godown of words. Learning more words brings more knowledge. Words are classified into 8 types. We have discussed only the content words: noun, adjective, verb, and adverb. Noun is a name. Name is a noun. Adjective modifies the noun. Verb is an action. Any action is a verb. Adverb modifies not only verb but also adjective and another adverb. Same word can be used in different persons like noun, verb, adjective, and adverb. Sometimes the same meaning is carried out for any parts of speech in the sentence. For example, the word trim. There is no change in the sense of the word trim. But sometimes a word may have different meaning based on the function in the sentence. For example, the word book. It gives totally 2 different meanings as a noun and verb. To master words, we need reading and writing practice consistently.